Rosie, the exotic fruit I'm using today is quince. And if you've ever seen a quince, it's like a big, ugly-looking apple with fur on the outside. A lot of people just walk straight past them. They are delicious. Now, the thing that I'm doing today is I'm going to roast a duck with a quince glaze on the outside. So I managed to get it in somehow, didn't I?
You did.
You like
minimally, but I like what you've done with it.
I also like duck a hell of a lot, and there's nothing better. When you are cooking duck, it goes quite well with sweeter fruits, and that's where quince comes into it. Now, I'm going to make a bit of a stuffing to go inside of it, because you can't have roast duck without stuffing, can you?
No, you cannot.
And you're going to get cracking and make the glaze that goes with it. I have 4 oranges there. I want you to zest one of the oranges and just leave it on the bench, and then juice the other 4 oranges. So I've got that lovely, fresh
juice. That's a job
juice.
I'm good at.
I know you're good at that.
Yep.
Thing is, I've got to try and stop you from drinking the juice, because I know you really, really love fresh orange juice. Now, leek is one of my favourite vegetables, and it softens up beautifully. And I'll just slice it through the middle here like that. I'll just use the green part from the top. Into the pan it goes, and you can hear that little bit of sizzle. I've also got some onion, half a red onion, and a couple of cloves of garlic that I've just sliced nice and thin and then chopped it all up. In they go as well. Now, you need to season the stuffing up, because it's the stuffing that flavours everything on the inside. Some salt goes in there and some pepper goes in there as well. It's looking good, isn't it, Rosie?
It's really good and smells good.
It smells good. You can imagine this on the inside of that duck. Now, toss that around like that, and we need to flavour it up. So I've got some fresh thyme. You could use dried thyme if you want, dried oregano. You could use just about any herb you want.
Thyme and stuffing, though, they do well, don't they?
Anything roasted, thyme goes really well with it. I've got chives as well. I usually add this at the end, but these chives are delicious. I'll just slice them nice and thin. How you going there with that orange?
Yeah, it's actually a little bit trickier than I remember. My juicing days.
That's why I got you to do it, Rosie. Chives go in there, thyme's already in there, salt and pepper's in there. We need to add some flavour. And you cut this butter like this. You think I'm going to add the little bit? I'm going to add the big bit of butter, because it's the butter that gives it flavour.
Doesn't surprise me.
So, you know, a nice big block of butter in there. Let it soften up nicely. And when it's softened up, I'll fold this through it. This is fresh breadcrumbs. So I've just pulsed this in the Maggi mix, took the crust off it. I took the crust and gave them to the ducks that are just down the road from me. You believe that one? There we go. That's going to sit there like this. I much prefer using fresh breadcrumbs.
We just lost some viewers.
Oh, I love ducks. I love ducks. Well, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I feed the chickens maybe. Stir that around. You can see that butter's melting beautifully. And the reason I do add a lot of butter like this is because that's what's going to soak into the breadcrumbs and make one delicious amount of stuffing. Now, the juice over there, if you can pour that
I'm trying to get as much as I can. Is that enough?
Yeah, pour it into there. That's lovely. Maybe a little bit more. Keep you busy. I'll take some of this zest here, because the zest is quite strong. And onto the jet I'll go. Turn it up till it's nice and hot. I'm going to add some my favourite things in here. I've got some brandy goes in there, some Cointreau goes in there as well, and some rum to make it even more delicious. And you're thinking now, where is the quince, Richo?
Where is that quince?
Oh, no, here it is. I've got some quince here, and this is quince paste. You can buy it at any supermarket, any deli. This is always fresh, which is delicious, and it'll slowly melt down and dissolve. And as it dissolves...
Easy.
Yes.
That's normally with my cheese board.
Exactly, and as it dissolves, it'll actually thicken up the glaze with that orange flavour. And I'm going to add a little bit more spice to it. In goes some cinnamon, that'll give it a lovely flavour. And ginger, I've got some lovely ginger here. I'll cut a few thin slices off here and pop them into my glaze. The thing I need to do now is let this simmer away and thicken up. I'll put the rest of the juice in there. I'll let this bubble away for a few more minutes, add the breadcrumbs to it, crack one egg into it, stir it all around, and I'll be ready to stuff the duck, glaze it, and pop it in the oven. Rosie, the stuffing's cooled down a little bit, but to bind it together and make it even more delicious, I'm just going to crack an egg into the centre, and I want you to just mix that egg in there. I like putting an egg in my stuffing. I find it just makes it stick together a little bit more instead of being too crumbly. Now, the duck is my favourite, and you can buy duck frozen or fresh. This is a fresh one, and what I've done is I've taken the wingtips off and the neck off. Now, in the middle there, the cavity, I'm just going to put a little bit of salt, just a little pinch of salt, and the stuffing, look at that. Gorgeous.
Really gorgeous.
It is a little bit warm still, so I'll just be careful. This is the best part of roasting a bird. Now, there's enough stuffing here for about 1.5 ducks, and in it goes like that. You can see that's tucked in nicely. To hold it all in place, Rosie, what I do is I use a skewer like this and I just pop it through the skin there like that, through that part there, and I just sort of zigzag it all the way up. It might open up a little bit and pull apart, but what this will do is actually hold it together for the first amount. Slide that over there, Rosie, and I'll grab my baking tray here. This baking tray, I'm using one of these wire racks. Great little invention.
Yeah.
On goes the duck, and of course, when we're cooking any sort of meat, we need to make sure we've got salt on there. Salt loves meat, meat loves salt. Now my glaze, you can see that's come to the boil there, and I'll just take it off the heat now. I'll start it off with a little bit of the glaze on top of it to begin with, and as the duck's cooking, it'll cook for about 190 degrees Celsius. It'll take about 45 to 55 minutes to cook all the way through. I'll just glaze it every 15 to 20 minutes or so I get that lovely colour on the outside. The thing to remember is the quince has got a little bit of sugar in it. Be careful not to have it too hot, otherwise it will caramelise. This will go into the oven about 45 to 55 minutes, and they'll be ready. Into the oven we go.
That's mightily impressive.
I love cooking duck. And when you can glaze it like this, it just looks outstanding, doesn't it?
It does look outstanding. It looks really outstanding.
I'll just hold this little piece here like this, and I'll just carve off that. Look at that one there. Beautiful glaze on the outside, that little bit of fat on the inside. I'll take this other little piece off there. Look at that. Off it comes. Looks great.
I feel like duck's a bit of a special event thing, is it? It's quite decadent.
It is. You know, when you eat it in a Chinese restaurant, you know, and they carve it for you, I'm going to take this stuffing out of it here, just a little bit of that stuffing as well. Pop it onto there. You've got a great little dish, some duck, some stuffing, a lovely quince glaze. Doesn't that look fantastic, doesn't it?
This is your sort of food all over. And how does it taste?
That is so tender, so juicy, and that little bit of sweetness is outstanding. I love this type of duck. And the stuffing is even better.
You've nailed it.
I think I have.